Welcome back to Gearhead Glam, your ultimate car channel. Buckle up, because tensions between the United States and Mexico have hit a dangerous crossroads. Mexico's bold threat to cut off vital oil and automotive supplies could ignite a full-blown tariff war, sending shockwaves through the automotive industry and beyond. With Trump's aggressive stance on tariffs and Mexico's strategic countermeasures in motion, the stakes have never been higher. Will this trade conflict spiral into economic chaos, or can diplomacy prevail? Let's break down the 7 key moments that could define the future of U.S. Mexico trade relations. Number 1. Mexico's leverage over oil and energy supplies. Mexico holds a powerful card with its energy exports to the U.S., supplying a significant share of crude oil to American refineries, especially in Texas. If Mexico's state-owned oil company Pemex cuts off or restricts this flow, U.S. fuel prices could skyrocket, driving inflation and increasing manufacturing and transportation costs. President Claudia Sheinbaum has hinted that if Trump's tariffs remain, Mexico is ready to act. American refineries are configured to process Mexican crude, meaning a supply disruption would leave the United States scrambling for alternatives, driving up costs and causing shortages. Beyond economics, this is political leverage. A fuel price surge would undercut Trump's economic message and anger American voters. Mexico's control over energy supplies gives Sheinbaum a strategic edge, potentially forcing Trump to reconsider his tough trade policies. But oil isn't the only sector where Mexico holds leverage. Next up is the automotive industry, which could face even greater disruption. Number 2. Automotive supply chain at risk. The North American automotive industry is a tightly interwoven network with U.S., Japanese and European automakers relying heavily on Mexican labor and parts. Every day, hundreds of trucks cross the U.S. Mexico border, delivering critical components like engines, transmissions and electronics to American factories. If Mexico decides to impose tariffs or restrict automotive exports, the supply chain would grind to a halt almost overnight. General Motors, Ford and Tesla all rely on Mexican-made parts for their production lines. A sudden disruption could force them to scale back production or raise prices, hitting American consumers where it hurts. Industry experts warn that such a disruption could lead to plant closures, job losses, and higher car prices. Manufacturers would either have to pass the cost increase on to customers, or absorb it, which would cut deep into profit margins. Mexico's control over the supply chain gives Sheinbaum powerful leverage in trade negotiations, putting Trump in a tough spot. And it's not just the auto industry under pressure. Politics are about to get messy as well. Number 3. Political pressure on Trump's base. Trump's hardline stance on tariffs is aimed at rallying his political base, especially in industrial and agricultural states. But Mexico's countermeasures could strike right at the heart of that support. Mexico has already hinted at targeting American agricultural exports in retaliation. Tariffs on U.S. corn, soybeans, and beef would hit rural America hard. American farmers rely heavily on Mexican markets, and any disruption could send shockwaves through the farming sector. If Mexico restricts auto parts and energy supplies, production costs would soar, leading to potential layoffs in key swing states. If Trump's policies start to cost American jobs, his political stronghold could crumble. Mexico's strategy is clear. Turn Trump's base against him by creating economic pain where it matters most. Mexico isn't acting rashly. There's a diplomatic strategy unfolding behind the scenes. Before we delve deeper, do us a favor and smash that like and subscribe button. This helps us reach more auto enthusiasts just like you. Now let's shift gears and steer towards our next point. Number 4. Diplomatic maneuvering and strategic delays. Visual. Diplomatic meetings, negotiations, and strategic planning. Despite the escalating tensions, Mexico has been careful not to rush into retaliation. Sheinbaum has emphasized that Mexico remains committed to the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement, or USMCA, and prefers a diplomatic solution by holding back on immediate countermeasures. Sheinbaum is giving Trump room to reconsider his strategy. An upcoming call between Sheinbaum and Trump on April 2nd could be a crucial turning point in this trade standoff if Trump stands firm. Mexico has already signaled that it will announce formal retaliation measures. Sheinbaum's approach reflects a calculated strategy: apply diplomatic pressure while holding the threat of economic retaliation as a last resort. This gives Trump an opportunity to back down without losing face. But if he refuses to budge, Mexico holds the cards to escalate quickly and decisively. But this isn't just a two-player game. Number 5. Potential for a North American trade crisis. The potential for a North American trade crisis looms large as tensions escalate. If Mexico follows through on its threats, North America's economy could face a major shock. Trade between the United States, Mexico, and Canada is highly interconnected, so any disruption would have widespread consequences. Canada has already hinted at retaliatory tariffs on American products, particularly targeting the automotive sector. If Mexico and Canada unite, the United States could face a two-front economic hit, disrupting supply chains and driving up costs. Adding to the pressure, China has announced a 25% tariff on American goods, creating the potential for a coordinated economic assault. This could trigger a stock market downturn and worsen inflation in the United States. Trump and Sheinbaum are now under pressure to protect their national interests. But with the economic risks mounting, both leaders may be forced to reconsider their hardline positions to avoid a full-scale trade war. And speaking of high stakes, energy remains at the center of this conflict. Number 6. The role of energy and political messaging. Energy supplies are at the heart of this conflict, but the political messaging behind them is just as critical. Trump's America First narrative relies on the idea of U.S. energy independence, but American refineries still depend on Mexican crude for specific grades of oil that domestic production can't match. A disruption would expose this weakness, driving up fuel prices and undermining Trump's economic message. Meanwhile, Sheinbaum has framed Mexico's stance as a defense of national sovereignty, making it clear that Mexico won't be bullied by U.S. trade policies. This nationalist approach boosts Sheinbaum's political standing at home while putting pressure on Trump to reconsider his hardline position. Mexico's leverage over energy supplies gives Sheinbaum a strategic edge, forcing Trump into a difficult political corner. And it all comes down to Trump's political gamble. Trump's political gamble. The conflict is Trump's high-stakes political gamble. His tariffs on Mexico are part of a broader strategy to project strength and energize his political base. But if Mexico retaliates, the economic blowback could cost him dearly. American manufacturers and farmers are already feeling the pressure. Disrupted supply chains and rising costs would threaten jobs and production, directly impacting voters in key swing states. If Trump holds the line on tariffs, he risks alienating these voters. But if he backs down, he risks looking weak. In his first year in office, Trump has built his political brand on toughness, especially on trade. But Mexico's leverage over oil and automotive supplies puts him in a vulnerable position. If Sheinbaum follows through on her threats, Trump will face a critical decision: protect American jobs or stay the course on tariffs and risk economic fallout. Number 7. Verdict: the high-stakes trade standoff. Who will blink first? This trade conflict between the United States and Mexico is shaping up to be a high-stakes political and economic showdown. Mexico holds significant leverage through its control over energy and automotive supply chains, but Trump's political calculation depends on projecting strength. So the big question is, who will blink first? Will Trump soften his stance to avoid economic disruption, or will Sheinbaum's pressure force him to shift United States trade policy? The outcome of this standoff could redefine North American trade for years to come. What do you think? Will Mexico's countermeasures push Trump to back down, or will he double down on tariffs? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications for the latest updates on this trade showdown and more from Gearhead Glam. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you next time.